Hello. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to a full edition of the Narrator podcast. I am your host, Hall Z. Allen. Welcome all my narrators. So, first and foremost, apologies. Now, for all my listeners, they know that I've been consistently uploading every single weekend, Saturdays to be specific, episodes of the Narrator podcast, but your brother been feeling under the weather due to a physical illness. Something physically happened to me, like externally outside the body, but from that physical illness, like other stuff been happening too. So I just really been feeling under the weather. I don't like take prescription meds. I don't do Tylenol, nothing. I try to do everything, naturally and holistically. So I just been letting my body do what it do. And lo and behold, I'm getting my second win on a Sunday evening. Because I usually do it pretty much Saturday afternoon, Saturday morning, Saturday mornings actually, mid-morning. And then like upload probably like late afternoon, evening. But this is going down at pretty much close to midnight on a Sunday. So yeah, apologies. I'm only human. So, but anyway, having said all that, allow me to give a brief synopsis and an overview as I normally do to anybody that may be tuning in right now or tuning in by the time I upload it to all platforms, the Narrator podcast. So let's start at the top, the tippy top. The name, the Narrative podcast. What does that suggest? Well, I named my podcast the Narrative podcast because the media weaves a false narrative about original people and original culture. They're always depicting us, from a negative perspective, always showcasing and highlighting us living in depravity, criminalistic, lazy, just basically all the typical stereotypes that they label us with. This is what they depict us with, and in the news, in the media, television, and movies, as well as literature, periodicals. Like all frames of reference about our people and our culture are negative. Most, like, all of them. I said it. I said what I said. So what I wanted to do is I wanted to design a platform where I'm basically, telling our story correctly, depicting us in a positive light, and dispelling and dismissing all these negative stereotypes about us. That's a perfect segue for my tagline. Matter of fact, my tagline is the Narrative Podcast, changing the narrative one episode at a time by destroying negative stereotypes about original people and original culture. And how do I destroy the negative stereotypes? I provide positive frames of reference. Yes, because people outside of our culture and us within our culture, all we're giving it about our people and our culture is negative frames of reference. So when people outside of our culture, they're given the name negative frames of reference. They don't know any of us. They wasn't raised around none of us. That's all they have to judge us on. It's based on, how we're depicted on television, in the news, local and global news, in media, in music, television and movies, etc. So That's the only frames of reference they're giving it about us. So, it is my goal and my mission to provide positive frames of reference about my people and my culture. The ultimate takeaway I want my listeners to gain, if nothing else, is how important it is to share positive frames of reference about our people and our culture on any platform that you might occupy online or, publicly. Whatever you're using your platform for, just always make time to provide a positive frame of reference about our people and our culture. Having said that, that's why I call. Having said that, it's the media's job to provide the negative frames of reference. It's a multi-million dollar, or multi-billion dollar a year business, making us appear and seem a certain way that we're not. So that's one reason why the media does it. They do it for, of course, a profit, to market us and sell us to, people outside of our culture a certain way. And then secondly, to, absolve them of the guilt from what they've done to our people, what they've done to our culture. And then three, to, enhance their own egos, make them feel good and make them feel superior, thus, allowing them to keep their socioeconomic stronghold they have over pretty much the world tangibles, basically trying to keep it a nice white world, by depicting people that aren't Caucasian in a certain light, especially our people, downtrodden, pretty much a drain on the resources. That's the way they want to depict anybody that's not white to, the rest of the world. Now, having all that to say, it's my ultimate mission on here for my listeners to understand how important it is to share positive frames of reference about our people and our culture, to use your platforms wisely, to educate, to enlighten people that don't know of us. Because like I said, all they're giving is negative frames of reference about our people and our culture. So, just imagine. Imagine people outside of our culture, like they're already giving negative frames of reference, and then here we come, utilizing our platforms to, promote gang culture, promote pimp culture, thought culture, whore culture, F-boy culture, and just feeding into and walking into the negative stereotypes about our people and our culture, embracing it. So, that's what we don't want to do online, is embrace the negative stereotypes, the types of things that we should as a people, and the types of things I do here on the Narrator podcast is I promote positivity. The types of images we should be circulating around about our people is, positive frames of reference about entrepreneurialism, about unity, about family structure, about being a tight-knit community, giving back, doing for self, and just being an overall bonus to the human experience, rather than a drain on the human experience. So that's how we're marketed and sold to people outside of our culture. We just marketed and sold as like people, with no redeeming qualities, that doesn't contribute anything to humanity or society. So, we always want to share the positive frames of reference to showcase and highlight our intellect, our spirituality, our core being, our essence of who we are as a people, rather than feeding into the negative stereotypes and embracing and generating and propagating the narrative stereotypes along with dominant society. That's what we don't want to do. Now, another like misnomer I want to shed light on before diving into the content about my platform. It's a gossip-free zone. I don't engage in gossip. I don't spread negativity. I do be completely, generically honest. Like if somebody's doing something within our culture that's damaging to us as a people, I will call them out on person or persons out on that. But other than that, I don't, feed into gossip. I don't try to, denigrate our brothers and sisters. I try to uplift and edify our people on my platform. We get enough scrutiny from people outside of our culture. I don't want to be another voice of scrutiny. So, yeah, there's that. And then also on my platform, I refer to our people as original people versus black. And the reason for that is because, we were here on this planet 5,000 years before anybody else on the planet. We was originally located on every corner of the globe, and then we originated everything in this world. Like we was the original everything. Like we originated religion and spirituality, so it's the original Christian, we was the original Muslim, we was the original Hebrew, we originated education, like we had the first college. We originated science and mathematics, we originated alchemy, we originated pretty much every piece of architecture on this planet. Theories, philosophies, all originated and came from us. So I think the word original better befits our people than black, because like we originated spoken language and written language, and then when we originated the spoken language and the written language, black meant something positive. Black was reflective of all things positive: wealth, status, health, good, everything positive. But then people that didn't look like us, they came along and they flipped the narrative and they made the word black mean something negative. And so if you go into any dictionary, any version, like especially in English, and look up the word black, you will see, everything negative, all negative connotation surrounding, the word black. But before they go into all that, they go out of their way to denote black. It's the only color in the dictionary that denotes origin. So it's usually like when you look up the word black, you will see, people with the dark pigment originating or coming from Africa. And then they'll go into all these negative descriptors, all these negative, words to describe black. So yeah, it's not good at all. But I think original is more befitting to us as a people, because, when you look up the word original, there's no negative connotation surrounding the word original. Original really kind of hints at the first, and in many cases, the best. So we were and are the original people of this planet. We originated everything. And then the word original also, is a word that unifies us as a people rather than separates us, because there's so many different classifications of us. We're located on so many different parts of the globe. We identify by so many different pronouns. Original is just like all inclusive. It means, anybody that possesses melanin that can trace their lineage back to Africa. No matter where you're located on the planet, we are original men and original women. That's the glue that binds us together as a people. Uh, so that's why I try to refer to our people as original as opposed to black. Because I also believe in the power of words. And like I said, they corrupted the meaning of the word black. And so it's kind of like ingrained into us to mean something negative, and it triggers negative things from us as a people if you study our condition, especially here in America, and then also abroad, how we're living here in America and abroad as a people by referring to ourselves as black, by, running with their definition of the word black. But anyway, I'm not telling people not to call themselves black if you feel comfortable calling yourself black. If you're tapped in and dialed in with the ancestors, and you know what the significance of the word black means, and you love, being black, calling yourself black, referring to yourself as black, and go right on ahead. I just personally think original is just better, sounds better, it's more powerful, it's more impactful, it's more positive. So if you want to keep on saying black, go right on ahead. I'm not telling you not to. So that's all I want to say about that, the original thing. Bring you up to the speed on the original thing. So yeah, that's basically, the synopsis of the Narrative podcast. Also, my podcast is broken down into sections. Each section has a speaking point. I would describe each section as I come to them, and then break it down what each section is. And I also try to time my podcast. I don't want to exceed an hour on my content because I want my content to resonate, and I want my my delivery of the content to just flow nicely and not have a nice cohesive feel to it. I don't want to shoot above my listeners' heads. I don't want to ostracize anybody. I just want to deliver the message, deliver the intellect, the consciousness, and include everybody, and just make it easily accessible. So I try to really just be conscientious of my time, and that also prevents me from rambling and ranting. So that's my ultimate goal, because if you just talk for hours without a clear starting point and a stopping point, it's not a podcast, it's just a glorified rant. That's anything but, that's it, the furthest thing away from my mind for what I want my podcast to be. So, I want it to serve a purpose. I want it to be applicable. I want people to really, utilize this platform and extract everything they can extract from it, and, spread the message of sharing positive frames of reference about our people and our culture, thus being a narrator. I guess I did glaze over that. That's why I call my target listening audience my narrators. Because what is a narrator? A narrator is a person that tells the story. So we have to tell our story and tell or narrate our stories online. Because if history has taught us nothing, it's taught us this, that if you don't tell your own story, you will have your story told for you. And that's precisely what dominant society has been doing since the beginning of time, is telling our story and telling it falsely and incorrectly, and from their perspectives, vilifying us and making themselves look like the savior, like they saved us, when in reality they were spawned from us. They try to make themselves look noble and try to make ourselves look, degenerate and evil and wicked. And it's just the inverse of that. So, that's why I call my listening audience my narrators. We have the ability to narrate or tell our own stories. All right. Okay. Now that I clarified all that, a few more things I want to get out of the way, not get out the way, but celebrate before I dive into the content. So a lot of things has happened. So it is May 21st. First and foremost, give a birthday shout out to Mr. Lawrence Terrell, or better known as Mr. T, cultural icon, our first visual. You know, if you're a Gen Xer, that was one of our first original images of a masculine, original man on television. Always strong, strong morals, physically strong. His whole presence commanded authority. His whole look was an homage to, you know, the ancestors. He got his signature. He borrowed his signature look from the Indika tribe, the Mohawk. He got that. You know, his gold symbolized, you know, the struggle. Well, I don't like saying the struggle because I believe in the power of words, but you know, our ordeal we went through as slaves, that was indicative to that. His gold was to symbolize that. Then also, not only that, but to be a physical symbol for children looking up to him, that you can have that's obtainable, that's an attainable goal. Because gold is never not going to be worth money. Gold is one of the most precious things on the planet, one of the most precious metals on the planet. It's never not going to be worth something. So by him wearing all that gold, he was telling our youth, you're worth something. You know, you're worth your weight in gold. So shout out to Mr. T on his 71st born day, giving us, you know, over 5 decades of original male masculinity, uncomparable, you know, instilling in us, you know, self-confidence, and to walk with dignity, and to be proud of who we are. So most of his lessons was aimed at our children, but you know, he would kind of like was for all kids. Like Mother's Day just passed. His original rap song went viral. You know, Mother. You know, he had a Dear Mama song before Pop. He was the OG Dear Mama. Just, you know, saluting mothers. The video started off with a young Bipper Johnson. In the video, they was playing the dozen, saying, roasting, saying mama jokes. And then Mr. T goes on, you know, and tells you why you shouldn't bring mothers into it, and bam. I mean, the actual rap song was like cringy at best, but you know, the overall message was positive, and his overall message is positive. We love and appreciate that brother, and appreciate all that he's given to us, and wish him many more. Definitely a national treasure, keepsake in our community, and you know, the first spitting image of male masculinity. You know, it never took a backseat to anything. You know, taught us to speak our minds, and say what we mean, and mean what we say, and stand on it. So, Mr. T. Give a warm Narrative Podcast round of applause for Mr. T. And then next, a belated birthday shout out to, you know, one of the most prolific leaders of the movement. He inspired so many people. You know, every single last one of his speeches is still relevant today. One of our most powerful, impactful leaders ever. Cut down in his prime. so far ahead of his time. He was light years into the future. It's a real shame that the powers that be, infiltrated how he was moving and, turned him or manipulated certain things within the organization that he represented and, took our brother from us prematurely. But anyway, so April 19th was the born day of Malcolm Little, aka Brother Minister Malcolm X, aka Malik Shabazz, was his final, evolution. Or I don't like saying the word evolution because that makes me think of the Darwin theory, and we did not come from no damn monkeys. His final transformation before he ascended, or rather got assassinated. But good, powerful speaker, motivated the youth, got them actively involved into, knowledge of self, having pride in yourself, how to tap into the power that we all possess inside, not being fearful, seeking knowledge, and wanting to be a better person than you were just the previous day. So, Brother Malik Shabazz, Malcolm X, Malcolm Little, whatever you want to call him, we're grateful for, everything, for all his teachings. We're grateful for all, his rousing, stirring words. We're grateful, for him, standing for something and teaching all us to stand for something and not just kneel and accept anything, to be the voice of change and to also, be intentional with our actions, not just powerful with our words. So, Warm Narrative Podcast, round of applause for the belated born day of Malcolm X. All right. So here we go with the very first section of the Narrator Podcast. Very first section coming to you is the promo section. In this section, what I'm doing is I'm giving business owners or original people to own and operate their own business the opportunity to, reach out to me and promote whatever they got going on, whatever business, product, or service that they need or would like promoted. Reach out to me, Halsey Allen, on the Narrative Podcast. And the way you do it is hit me up at passionwebmail@portofpassion.host. Subject bar type promo, body of the email, tell me a little bit about yourself, business, product, service. And I will gladly promote it for you for 110% free, not charging any money. And the purpose of me doing that is to do my part to help circulate the original people dollar within the original people community. We have to do for self. We have to promote each other. We have to patronize each other. We have to network with each other. We don't have to like each other, but damn it, we gotta stick together. So, that's me doing my part to stick together, promote our brothers and sisters' businesses, projects, and whatever, with the anticipation that they will hire their own and give back to the community that they are rooted in. It's reach one, teach one. We got to stick together as a community. While we are due reparations, until we actually obtain them, we must do for self, and we must do for each other, and we must do for our communities. we must do for our families as well. So, to reiterate, if you need or like free promotion, hit me up at passionwebmail@poeticpassion.host. Subject bar, type promo, body of the email. Give me all the specifics about your business, product, or service. And then also a little quick bio about yourself, because consumers want to know about the person that they're purchasing goods, products, and services from. They want to know a little bit about, the person that they're buying it from. So that's just like business ethics 101. All right, moving on to the next section. At that exact same email address, I'm giving another opportunity. The way I'm separating the two is through the subject bar, so please pay close attention. All right, hit me up at passionwebmail@poeticpassion.host. Subject bar, type chew on this contest /or shopping while black. And what this is a contest, an incentive reward contest to reward listeners that's been listening to my platform for since day one, and then also to attract new listeners. You're gonna get something if you listen to my content, giving you the opportunity to win a bulk supply of your favorite snack just by tuning in, participating in the contest topic, and the contest topic is shopping while black. I want you to share your most recent shopping while black experience, and for that I will give you a bulk supply of your favorite snack. And once again, to enter the chew on this contest, hit me up at passionwebmail@poeticpassion.host. Subject bar, type chew on this /or shopping while black. If you don't want to type the entire word shopping while black, you can type SWB in all caps. Body of the email, make sure you include your most recent shopping while black experience, your mailing address so I know where to send your snack, and tell me what type of snack you want. Very simple. Enter the contest. It's 110% free. You have nothing to lose, only something to gain. Tell a friend, check it out. Me, Halsey Allen, shopping while black. Chew on this contest on the Narrator podcast, and the topic is share your most recent shopping while black experience. All right, on to the very first section of the Narrator podcast. The first two was just a warm-up round. This is the main event. And this section is called the highlight section. And what I'm doing in this section is highlighting businesses owned and operated by original people. Business products or services, but businesses especially in the highlight section. And the purpose of me doing this is to share the positive frame of reference about entrepreneurialism. We don't have a lot of frames of references about, original people owning, operating their own businesses. The very few frames of reference that we have on television are tainted with dysfunction. The dysfunction drowns out the fact that they own and operate their own business, because they're shown on camera fighting amongst themselves, calling each other names. You focus so much on that you forget that all of the people on that show are earning six figures or more, that they, have their own businesses, that they help the community, they provide opportunities for other people. You're just focusing on the dysfunction. So on my platform, what I'm focusing on is the journey. That's what the highlight section is about. Providing you the positive frame of reference and focusing in on the entrepreneur's journey to becoming an entrepreneur. I'm walking you through their whole process from the time they have the idea to come up with the product, the name, the significance of the name, the year it got established. The types of people I highlight in the highlight section are just basic people nine to fivers, not content with working a 9 to 5 job anymore, wanting to do something more meaningful with their lives. Like a lot of the people that work the 9 to 5 jobs, like some of them, the highlight on the highlight section of the Narrator podcast, some of them was earning 5 and 6 figures working for Fortune 500 companies, but they wanted to pursue something that made them, happy, something that they was passionate about, and like took that dip in pay to be, happy in life, because health is wealth, and sometimes your happiness level outweighs the material stuff. So they left their secure jobs, their pension and 401k and severance package, for to just have the security of being their own boss, calling their own shots, not having to check in for a day off work, and then also doing something for the community, providing a service for the community, hiring their own people. Also, people that I highlight on the highlight section, they pay into a nonprofit organization, or they have their own, they hire their own people. Many of them are family owned and operated ventures. So there's that positive frame of reference about generational wealth. I think the last qualifying factor is, they line up with my theme, and my current theme is the season of spring. So, having said all that, say this, we're going to dive into the highlight section, kicking things off. Well, first, being that it's the season of spring, people are doing more. I guess I got to set it up. Being that it is the season of spring, or the season of spring is, we've been programmed to celebrate, because spring is actually marks the beginning of the new year. But anyway, that's a whole nother story for a whole nother show, hosted by somebody else. I could go in on it, but for all intents and purposes, the season of spring. So yeah, with the season of spring, people are more active. They're out more. They're out and about more. The weather is changing, especially if you live in the four-season state. It's beginning to get warmer. So with warm weather, you must stay hydrated. So that's the perfect segue to tell you what the businesses I'll be focusing in on. This is kind of a remix topic, but there's literally thousands of these types of businesses out here. So without any further ado, I'm going to just dive right into it. This week on the highlight section, the types of businesses I will be highlighting on the Narrator podcast are businesses that specialize in water, selling water. Bottled water companies, to be precise. So first up in the highlight section on the Narrator podcast is the Good Water Co. And it is found by one Mr. Nash. You can hit him up on Instagram, thegoodwaterco.la. It was established in 2016. Got the physical location in September 2021. It's the world's first and only water dispensary, offering, hydration to all. His product is alkaline and BP free. We got basically like most of everything. His business got inspired because he got laid off. His story is really super duper long, but to keep up with my time limit, I'm giving you the streamlined version of his story. It's like it got a lot of twists, but I'm just trying to, hit the bulleted points. Basically, he got laid off from his job amid the pandemic. and started this company. He had always been playing around with the notion of selling water. Um, people helped him research it. Yeah, people like his father helped him research it. Um, in addition to, providing hydration to the community, education, he also wants to use his business as a co-op. He wants to partner up, with other local original people owned and operated businesses. He wants to promote other people. So like he's not like other business owners. He doesn't see, our brothers and sisters as competition. He wants to be the helping hand, do whatever he can do to promote, black owned businesses, people, aka, original people that own or operate their own business. He wants to be, the voice to promote, the businesses, because at his young age, not even 40 yet, he understands, the importance of group economics, and he wants to be the voice of group economics. That's his mission statement. In addition to just educating his people about hydration, providing job opportunities in that community, he also wants to, promote, group economics. And the brother's name is Marcel Nash. I think I got excited and skipped his name, but he's Marcel Nash. His product is called The Good Water Co. So give a warm Narrator podcast round of applause for Marcel Nash and The Good Water Co. Next up on the highlight section on the Narrator podcast is a product by the name of 1186, founded by one Mr. Marquise Forge and co-founded by Kevin Brickhouse. You can hit it up at www.1186water or 1186water.com. And so his story is also a convoluted story. Again, hitting the bulleted points. The way he came to start his business, it was an outcrying from an elder. The town of Ogden, Alabama. That's the first time I heard that. I know I just butchered the city, but Ogden, Alabama. If you know, you know. My bad. Like, this is a really super late episode. This is almost midnight, so now I'm drifting off into Monday. Anyway, Ogden, Alabama. It was outcrying from an elder beseeching him. He was just like out and about handling his business, doing his chores. He saw somebody, I think in his bio it says somebody by the name of Mr. Brown or something like that. In the video clip that I saw with, him explaining about the story of how 1186 came to be. He was just like, this town, the city is going belly up. There's no opportunity. We have to do something to, resurrect the city and to give people opportunity, provide opportunity for our people. So the brother was thinking like, okay, well, what's the nonprofit organization? what can I pay into? Like, I donate what I got, what little I got. How can I help? Um, so the elderly gentleman was like, no, like you got to teach your people to fish. It's not good enough to cut a check. We got to give them the means to do for themselves. So there was an old um, water bottle company that had went out of business in that town, and basically he told him he needs to buy that water bottle company or invest in that water bottle company, resurrect it, and get everybody in that city employed in there to provide them opportunity and sell that water. So and that's how it came to be, 1186. The significance of the name, it means life, 1186. Don't come over here fucking with me. Oops. I know I can't edit that out. It's super duper early in the morning. So my bad. I try not to curse on my platform, but I'm kind of on location right now. Like I said, it's midnight. I mean, I was supposed to do it on Saturday, but you know. But anyway, so yeah, that's the story of how it came to be. The name means life. It is artisanal water outsourced by a local stream. Like it comes from the ground. It's sourced water. I'm a little confused by like how is artisanal water if it's source water, but that's what it says on the website. It comes from a spring, and they purify it at the plant and bottle it up. Go support it. You have to go to the website to get the BPH information and all that. I will do a sidebar. I'm not trying to, give a double-handed compliment because I'm praising the brother for having his own business, but I noticed something on the website. It said like 8.6 or something, but just if it's above or below 7.5, like 7.2, it's not alkaline. So that's just but definitely check it out if nothing else, but to help that brother support his city, support him, support that brand. Go get you some 1186. You can go online and get it. Give it Warm Air the podcast up for Mr. Marcus Forge and the 1186 brand. And now on to the very last business that will be featured in the highlight section this morning. It's no longer evening. It's like I'm drifting into midnight now. It's now morning. So this one comes to you from a one Mr. Alex Love, and it's called the Garden of Youth, which is an acronym for something. It didn't say on the website what it's an acronym for, but the Garden of Youth, YOUTH. Basically, it was founded around 2016 as an answer to Flint, Michigan's water crisis from, originally I think it started in 2014. So Alex is a public health expert with a degree from University of Tennessee State, and yeah, that's really kind of all on his bio. You have to go to Garden of Youth to check out, his complete bio. Let me just do that right now. I got enough time to do that. Let me check it so I can give you a little bit more accurate information on that. So the address is Garden of Youth, gardenofyouthwater.myshopify.com, and they also got Garden of Youth on Facebook. So let me hit up the Facebook, because sometimes they be having, the explanation for that. Let me see. Trying to do it. Trying to get up to Facebook. And search. Garden of Youth. Okay. Garden of Youth. Alkaline water. I'm hitting it up. Okay. Garden of, what's it mean? The significance. Garden of Youth. Shopify.com. No, it still doesn't. I'm thinking it's going to say the acronym on here, but it doesn't. But yeah, his whole page is just dedicated to the importance of hydration. He gives information on how to stay hydrated, aside just from drinking water. He wants to educate people on the importance of staying hydrated. He has regular water and accented water.
Alright, y'all, I told y'all I was going to drop a video today. What we doing is testing.
He's testing the pH balance of his water on here. He got like all kinds of videos that he got uploaded on his Facebook. Promo deals. Yeah. But like I said, I just wanted to give you the streamlined background story. You can go to the website to get his full story. Got some testimonials on here. I tried to see what the youth stand for, what the acronym of the youth stand for. I might have to hit him up and ask, and then just tell y'all on a later episode. But yeah, definitely go support the brand. It's Garden of Youth, y.o.u.t.h. and it's founded by Alex Love, Garden of Youth. Go support that brand. Give a warm narrative podcast round of applause for Garden of Youth and Alex Love. All right, moving right along. My next section. My next section is the spotlight section. In this section, what I'm doing is I'm spotlighting people with prominent figures within our community. And what this section is about is creating the healthy habit of speaking positively about our brothers and sisters, saying something positive about them. Purpose of me doing this is create the healthy habit of saying something nice about our brothers and our sisters, because we use our public platforms, our digital platforms, to slander each other, to drag each other through the mud, to spread gossip, rumors, and lies about one another. This space is basically to uplift and edify. Uplifting and edify, congratulating, our brothers and sisters for all the work they've done, doing their parts in the movement. So basically giving them their roses while they're here. People who are prominently featured in the spotlight section are, pretty much entertainers, ranging from athletes, actors, actresses, recording artists, writers, producers, public figures, online influencers, YouTubers, TikTokers, whatever. Whatever public space you're occupying, if you're visible in the eye of the public, you'll get a spotlight section, a spotlight on the Narrator podcast. If you meet one or all these factors, doing some type of philanthropy, giving back, check one, check two. Okay, I had to do a check because I was hearing feedback. Giving, there we go again. Am I giving feedback? Check one, check two. Well, I guess I won't know until I share it back. But people that's doing something positive, basically, involving some type of social activism, some type of political activism, giving back to the community, providing opportunity for our people, such as jobs, such as doing stuff for the community, with our children, elderly, whatever our community needs, they're got a hand in, facilitating the need. Or if it's none of those, just the way they carry and conduct themselves in public, using their public platform in a positive way to give us a nice visual representation of our people. So, having said that, I'm going to say something that I say all the time, and I'm going to keep saying till it's not true, till somebody can disprove me from it being true, actually. I created the way for spotlighting, because before I added the spotlight section to my podcast, the Narrative Podcast, nobody was spotlighting anybody. But I create the wave for that. Now every time you watching somebody's show, somebody's interviewing a guest, somebody whether a podcast series, a television series, or a TV show, or a podcast, or a YouTube, or a TikTok, and they got a guest with them, they be like, today we'll be on the so-and-so show, spotlight on this person, that person, etc., so-and-so, whatever, and nobody was doing that. So I added a spotlight section to my podcast, the Narrator Podcast. As they say, imitation is the best form of flattery. I'm flattered that so many people are doing that. So I'm not even mad, because my ultimate goal, the reason why I created the spotlight section for it anyway, is to get into the healthy habit of saying something nice about your brother or sister online. And if I inspire that movement for everybody now to be spotlighting people, then, I did my job. So, having said all that, I'm going to say this.
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.
In a real way. All right, moving and grooving. Here we go. I started to go live because then I would be broadcasting live on Twitter or YouTube. But this is Sunday. It's essentially going to be Monday when I share it back to all platforms. But not to confuse my listening audience, it's a narrative podcast first. I'm usually every single weekend without fail, but I failed this weekend. I try to reserve the weekdays for, my random lives when I go live on the Narrative Podcast, and just weekends for, the full episode. But, hey, it's the first time for everything. But anyway, on today's spotlight section of the Narrative Podcast, it's an honor and a privilege to spotlight this incredibly positive young lady that is killing it online right now, putting the knowledge out there right now, and that's what we need. Somebody be representatives to showcase and highlight, our people's rich, dynamic history, and to make people educated about that. Because like I said, we got to put out the positive frames of reference about our people and our culture, and this young lady does exactly that. This is a TikToker by the name of Taylor Cassidy. Taylor is sitting at about 68.9 million likes, 2.2 million followers. She's breaking TikTok right now. And all from being positive. So she ain't sticking her butt out, twerking, busting it open for the gram, putting out sexually suggestive content. She's educating her people and earning a decent living while doing it. And so it's always my honor and pleasure to always promote that, to show you, you don't have to subscribe to the foolishness to, be affluent on the internet. You can earn a living without compromising your morals, compromising your dignity, compromising your belief in your value system for the bag. This young lady, not that I be counting people's pockets, she's checking a pretty significant bag. Got all kinds of opportunities awarded to her as a content creator, so you can best believe, some, film production to be in the works pretty soon from her. She's creating good, positive content, telling our people's history. So a little bit more about herself. She's originally from, can't read my own handwriting sometimes. Gotta look at it. Sometimes I can't read my own handwriting, it got blurred in the notes. So here we go. So she's originally from St. Louis, Missouri. She studied film in NY. She graduated high school in 21, 21. And then, I'm not going to run down her resume. She started doing TikToks in 2019, and all her TikToks are, basically historical black facts featuring like Maya Angelou, Shirley Chisholm, Fannie Lou Hamer, Black Wall Street, Black Fives, Mum Bet, Zelda Wynn, Valdez, and she also created a series called Black Girl Magic Minute, which uplifts contemporary black creators. So she's doing her thing. She was signed with WME and became a host of a TikTok radio station on Sirius XM. So definitely she's a force out here on these digital streets, and she's putting on for the cause. She's not compromising her integrity. She's not sitting up there, no fans only, no twerking, no busting it open for the gram, all positivity. And so I didn't say that to be super righteous and act like, I ain't never like I'm holier than thou and I ain't never looked at no smut. Like, that's not why I'm saying that. I'm saying that because this internet got it ingrained in us to believe we gotta not utilize it for something positive. Like, we have to be engrossed with the foolishness. We got to participate in the foolishness. We can't be positive and earn money. So it wasn't a jab or a diss to anybody, no Instagram models or, females in the adult film industry or cam models. Because, a lot of those women are good women. That's just something that they do. That's their profession. They get paid money for. But they also do good in the community too with their money. That's their online persona or whatever, but that's not, who they are as a person. That's just something they do to garner money. But I'm just saying there's an option. You don't have to go that route. You can be positive on the internet. You can make a livable wage by putting out positive content. You don't have to always subscribe to the foolishness. You don't always have to, do denigrating things, denigrate yourself and denigrate your people on the internet for the bag. And that's what they're programming and conditioning us to make us believe that we got to denigrate each other for the bag. And this young lady is not. She's educating, enlightening, and uplifting her people. So give a warm narrative podcast round of applause for young Miss Taylor Cassidy. Moving right along, next section. This section is called the health and wellness section. In this section, what I'm doing is I'm giving health and wellness tips for our people. Like, anybody is welcome to listen to my content, but no, all my content on here is directed at my people, because my people show the most need for everything that I'm talking about. But if you can get something out, if you're outside of our culture and you can extrapolate something from the knowledge that I share, then by all means, to enlighten yourself about our people, all means indulge. But just know all the content on here is true for my people. So you may not be able to relate. So Having said that, all the health and wellness tips that I share on here is aimed for my people, because although we are all human beings, our anatomy is different. We're not the same. We may be worshiping the same God or whatever, but we're not, biologically the same. So yeah, having said that, on the health and wellness section, the basic purpose of this is to help my people armor up in all the areas where we're being attacked. We're being attacked physically, mentally, and spiritually. Hey, on the physical side of it, they're putting things in the air, food, water, and just like day-to-day products that we use every single day that harm us, that destroy us, that destroy our, unique cellular structure. On the mental side of it, I already told you we're being bombarded with this negativity. They're trying to warp our minds, trying to make us see ourselves differently, trying to give us a warped, skewed perception of ourselves as a people, as a person, like, really trying to embed things into our psyche, using this media to manipulate our minds. And your mind that's where it all starts. Health, diet plays is a minute factor, but it's your mind, your consciousness, what controls your overall health. The things you're putting into your mind. This is what dictates, your wellness, your well-being. Not only that, this is how you manifest things into reality by your thoughts. And the powers that be are warping and corrupting our thoughts. So in that, they're also weakening our immune systems, because our minds control that as well. And so when your mind is in worry or at a constant state of dis-ease, illnesses set in. Matter of fact, that's why they call illnesses diseases, because they occur when your mind is at dis-ease. So that's what they're doing to us health-wise on the mental side of it. Now spiritually, they're not sitting up here like killing whole church full of black people. They're not sitting up there slaughtering us on the natural. That's a spiritual attack. Nobody just, is that just naturally. There's some spiritual going on in Hollywood, all this dark stuff going on. So that's what, the purpose of the health and wellness section is, to armor up my people mentally, physically, and spiritually, because health is wealth. So the types of tips that you will usually hear on the Narrator podcast is tips about diet, such as the health benefits of a vegetable, plant, herb, root elixir, or something you can do to gain vitality by eating or, ingesting it into your body or applying it topically to improve your health. Then on the mental side, things to keep your mental straight, such as, meditation, mindful breathing, mindfulness, because like I said, it all starts in the mind. So I give tips on, mental health as well. Spiritual side, such as praying and meditation, things you can do to guard your spirit. And then for like wild cards, I might talk about, metaphysics or, divine order, natural order, quantum law, things of that nature for my curveballs every once in a blue moon. But today's health and wellness tip is actually a PSA. There's a misnomer floating around about the term plant-based. So what I want to do is I want to put it into context for you. Plant-based, people that market plant-based is a buzz term. You know, people are really just trying to capitalize on the term vegan and plant-based. Like for people that just want to abstain from eating meat. So don't think just because you see plant-based on the box, it means that it's made from plants. And even some people go out of the way, some manufacturers go out of the way to say that the product is made from plants, but then when you flip the ingredients over, you will see all these chemicals and, you know, no real significant plant sources. So when you see the term plant-based on something that's been processed, it doesn't mean it's made out of plants. It's short for manufacturing plant. That's what that means. Not plants to grow up out of the ground, but it's not your fault because the advertisers, they're crafty and they want to mislead you. So they want to use the color green, a plant, usually, they have like a plant leaf on it and say plant-based to mislead you, to intentionally mislead you into believing that product is all natural. The only all natural products is all natural, like an actual apple, an actual orange, actual like fruits and veggies that grow out of the ground. Those are natural. Well, not these days because the government's making those now in the grocery store. They manufacturing fruits and veggies. Like, dang, what the heck? But yeah. Outside of that, that's the PSA. Don't go for the robbery. Do your research. Flip that label over. Read it carefully. Go online. Call the company. If get the know what you're consuming, taking into your body or putting on your body, applying topically. Don't just like go with the narrative that they're putting out there about plant-based. Because usually what plant-based means is it was derived from a manufacturing plant. And, a marketing gimmick they'll do is put a green plant leaf on it or, put green packaging and make you believe it's, grown from actual, like plants that come out of the soil. So, yeah, that's really all that means is it's manufactured in a plants, not coming from plants. I just wanted to clear up that misnomer. That's today's health and wellness tip on the Narrator podcast. And moving on to the next section. So my next section is speaking point of the day. I want to cover a couple things, three things specifically. My speaking point of the day is basically addressing breaking news, current news, stories within our community, delivering commentary on breaking news. That's basically what I'm doing in the speaking point of the day, is delivering my commentary on breaking news. What was I going to say? Okay, so whether the breaking news is within our own community or wherever. What was I about to say? So yeah, I got some topics to cover. I'm sorry, like this is like it's now officially Monday morning, but like I said, I'm doing this because I missed Saturday, like coming off of illness. But yeah, I'm trying to just keep it together because I'm usually in bed at this time. But I'm up early on this Monday for the Narrator podcast, staying consistent with my content. But anyway, so my speaking point of the day is breaking news, whether like worldwide, globally, or within our community. And the purpose of me doing this is me controlling the narrative, because the media will have our people looking, and sounding crazy. So like I said, history has taught us nothing. It's taught us this. You gotta tell your own story or have your story told for you. So that's all I'm doing in this section of the Narrative podcast, is telling our story. And I tell our stories from positivity, just fresh perspective, always trying to put us in a positive light. I am honest in my commentaries too, because like I said, if one of us is doing something that got us all looking and sounding crazy, I will address it. But I don't be talking about people. I don't try to put people down, but I give my honest assessment of whatever in my speaking point of the day. And I got some topics I want to touch on today. So without any further ado, go to the first topic. So Jada Pinkett Smith is under fire again for her involvement for the project depicting the life and times of Queen Cleopatra. So and it's basically, she's under fire from people outside of our culture, aka white people. Even though she had Caucasian people in the I don't want to spoil and give it away too much of the series if you haven't seen it. I myself have only watched one episode of it, but it's basically like the Kevin Hart thing, people accusing her of trying to blackwash Egyptian culture when she's really just telling actual factual events. She produced it and she narrated it, but it's an ensemble cast. It's like partial reenacting of events, and then she got some people who are specialists in Egyptology or whatever, commentating on it. So there's like, it'll flash back and forth. It'll have little segments of people delivering their their expertise, giving their expertise on the subject of Cleopatra. And then also they'll cut away to, some drama reenactment of it. And she's receiving backlash over that. She's catching a little heat within our community too, and I know why. So my synopsis of it, without revealing too much of the project, I'm going to deliver my commentary on that. Just based off the one episode. I haven't seen the entire series. I've just only seen episode 1. So I'm getting feminist vibes. I'm getting liberal vibes. I'm getting that letter community vibes. Can't say their names or you get sued, but the letter community, I'm getting those vibes. from that docuseries, and I'm also getting the agenda of, you know, the interracial dating. Now, me, myself, personally, I don't see nothing wrong with it. You love who you love, you like who you like, whatever, whatever. In this event, so let me back up a bit, because like I said at the beginning of my podcast, like, we are the original everything, so we can't be anti anything. So boom bam, we was the original Egyptians, but the story of Cleopatra is entwined with the story of Mark Antony, who was Greek, but dun, 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 we were the original Greeks. Yeah, we was the original Greeks, as well as the original Egyptians. So the story, so the conundrum is like, is it a story about interracial relationships, or is it a story about two original people falling in love or whatever? So yeah, that's the backlash she's receiving from our community, is like, there seems like, they're promoting, just like vilifying the black man again. That's what it seems like. And I was, as I watched that, kind of getting those vibes. But I already said the backlash she's getting from, the white Egyptians and Caucasian people in general, saying, trying to blackwash Egyptian culture, which isn't blackwashing it, because we were the original Egyptians. Or scratch that. Egypt was originally called Kemet, so we're the original Kemites. So, it's not really open for debate. It's actual factual. We can prove it with scholarship. We can prove it in the hieroglyphs. We can prove it on any, surface you want to look at it at. We can improve it with the goddamn architecture of that region. You go and look at the Sphinx. You go and look at the hieroglyphs. Like, what feature the hairstyles of the people in the hieroglyphs? Like, who does that resemble? Does that resemble Caucasian people? The features on the Sphinx, does that resemble a Caucasian person? No, it does not. So knock off the foolishness. But it's a good effort. She is an amazing director, amazing producer. Like I said, on many fronts, she's one of my favorite female actresses. She knows she's still under fire from the smack incident, but still under fire for the Tangle incident. But it's decent. It's decent. The thing with docuseries, you're never going to get an accurate interpretation of the events, because it happened so long ago. You're only like just basing it based off what other people are saying, and then just a few little written factoids that specialists have on it, and it's limited. Now, my only criticism that I give on her project is, I believe she should have consulted someone from the Hotep community to spearhead that project. She could have employed people from the Hotep community to make it more valid, because it's not valid. It doesn't seem authentic in any space you put it in. It seems like it's not organic. So somebody from the Hotep community, they could have made that film interpretation more organic, more natural, more, you know what I mean? It just, I don't know. I'm trying to like it. I'm trying to speak positive about it. But like I said, I already told you all the vibes I'm getting from watching it. So, like I said, too, I haven't watched it in its entirety. I've only watched one episode of the Netflix special. So, I'll watch some more episodes and, give my commentary at a later date on the rest of the episodes that I watched. But that right there is not the one episode that I've seen is just not organic. There's tons of people in the Hotep community that she could have reached out to give it a more authentic feel for it, because it doesn't feel authentic. So that's my only criticism I critique say about it. So her next project, if she's going to continue to move forward with it, I think she should consult people from the Hotep community, because they'll give it a more accurate, because the people that she had speaking on it, they didn't even seem knowledgeable about Queen Cleopatra. They didn't seem knowledgeable about, early Kemet. They didn't seem knowledgeable about Egypt. So it was just like there was no sources of credibility. Like, I didn't feel anybody that was speaking in the docuseries was credible. I didn't feel that they were reputable sources to be speaking on that. But anyway, enough about all that. That was just my spiel about the Queen Cleopatra debacle or project. I don't want to say debacle. Like, I'm trying to be positive, but I was just like telling you where she's receiving all the backlash and delivering my commentary on it. But check it out for yourself and judge for yourself. There's parts where it was decent, like some of the documented stuff. I think they got the wardrobe right. They seem to be, like I said, like I just didn't feel like a whole lot of those people that were speaking on it were knowledgeable of that time period. So that's my only criticism. She should have consulted people from the Hotep community, and that would have given it more authenticity. All right, I'm moving on to my next topic in the speaking point of the day. Did you know that our U.S. government they just gave what was that place? The UK F-15 planes, and then awarded them money to get trained for the F-15s, to pilot the F-15s. So they gave them F-15 planes to defend themselves, and then gave them some money to educate themselves on how to fly and operate the F-15s. And they got a whole gleaming army. Like, they already had planes. They already got planes in their army. Why are we giving them F-15s? That's a smack in the face to, disenfranchised veterans we have right here in the United States. Veterans sleeping under a bridge right now. Veterans sitting up there begging money for food right now. They done served. They did a tour for our country. And we give them guys F-15 fighter jets. We got homeless people right here in America. My people, our people, getting skipped for reparations again. and they give them F-15 fighter planes, and they keep saying we don't got enough money for y'all's reparations, but y'all gave them F-15 fighter planes. You know how much each one of those jets costs? Roughly over $1 million. Roughly over $1 million. Like each one of them was like 1.2. But they don't got no money for us. Like, that's crazy. All right, my very last thing I want to touch on for this section is I forgot to take it down in the the removal of Eric Mays, councilman from on Flint City Council in Michigan. So lately he's been going viral. Like it was a meme. It was just floating around about him. Like it was so true though. Like if Play With Your Mama Not Me was a person, like just the stuff he was saying in those meetings. He got removed for disorderly conduct, arrested. Mr. Mays is well over 60 years old. He's a senior citizen, so that's one. He got forcefully removed, and and it's tragic because one, there's no like real code of conduct for the councilmen. They was sitting up there saying rude, disrespectful things to him, and he's like clapping back. So they arrested him for clapping back when they all sitting up there insulting his intelligence on a daily basis. They're being disruptive to, their meeting. He's trying to keep order in the meeting, keep people from getting off task, having all these side conversations on our government money. So we got a window in like what goes on at those town hall meetings. Like they getting 4 and 5 figure salary sitting up there playing. They're having all these side conversations that don't got nothing to do with, the topics being addressed. And he was like the voice of reason to get everything back on track. Now, the way in which he does that is kind of questionable. I seen one clip, he called somebody a napkin Negro. You a napkin Negro. You a napkin Negro. Like, oh my God, like, you can't make this stuff up. I'm trying to keep from laughing, but like, he's like that one uncle at the barbecue. Like, oh my God, this dude is just like, I seen one where he said, I kid you not. All right, because like germane is a political term. It means like staying on topic. So a councilwoman had pointed out he wasn't being germane. He said, Mr. Mays, he responded, I wasn't being Tito, Michael, none of them. We talking about I wasn't being germane. I wasn't being Michael, Tito, none of them. Wow. But yeah, so he got removed for disorderly conduct at the town hall meeting, and I think it's some BS. We need more brothers like that, like Senator Mays, councilman maids to keep these meetings like running smoothly, keeping people on task, because they be having all these little side conversations that don't got nothing to do with nothing. And a whole lot of them, frankly, are there for like free lunch. They provide food, so they're milking the clock and just there because they ain't got nothing else to do. And like I said, like those positions will usually pay 4 to 5 figure salary a year, and then they feed them for free. And not for free, because the taxpayers are paying it. We, the common people, are paying for these people sitting up there playing. Like, oh, we're going to convene and have a lunch and recess. Like, you know what I'm saying? That we're paying millions of dollars for them to just be talking about nothing. Like, intentionally milking the clock just so they can get paid more. Vacation time, all that. Coming off the taxpayer. So, you know, Mr. Mays is a real one, and some real fake stuff is going on with that situation. Godspeed to him, and, you know, let the truth all the way out on that, because the jury been out. He just been blasting them, letting them have it, you know, not bowing down, not buckling down, not playing the game. These old Caucasian women sitting up here talking to him any old kind of way, and they thought he was just gonna go for it. Like, somebody told them wrong. But anyway, that's it for my speaking point of the day. And now closing out with my last section on the Narrative Podcast, my final thought section. Sometimes I go back and forth between final thought and final word. So today is final thought. And my final thought is change. Well, hold on. Gotta tell you what it's about before I dive into it. So what this section is basically like a gem, a pearl of wisdom, something insightful, something wise, something to resonate with your, you know, spirits, you know, just something to resonate with you and make you think critically and provoke thoughts. So today's final thought or final word for the day, whichever you want to call it, a lot of things, you know, that happen to us, we speak over ourselves, whether it's intentionally or unintentionally. You know, once you release it out of your mouth, it becomes law. That's the quantum law, actually. You know, you manifest reality by the words you speak. So a lot of things, bad, positive, and negative, is based on things we're speaking. So if you want good things to happen to you, final thought of the day is change your speech pattern. You got to change the way you're talking to yourself and talking out loud about other people and about your situation if you want things to change. So one thing, it's like the biggest thing people do, and they don't even realize they're doing it when they say it, is saying, I have to. I have to. Like, see how that seems labored? How that seems like it's not fun. It's, you know, it's going to end all bad. I have to go up here. I have to, true story. Many years ago when I first dropped out of school, one of the first places I had started taking my GED was like this, it was an age mixed group. It was like mostly women, but you know, like some people they had to take that was on in this GED group I was in. They had to do it in order to get public assistance, their public benefits, their food stamps or whatever, or whatever they was on, like whether it was on welfare or food stamps. But this older lady, older black woman, original woman, her thing was like, I guess she got upset because her worker, her food stamp worker had come, like, interrupted her class, the GED class, and told her she had to sign some forms, and she blew a gasket. So she was about like 70. She's about 70. This is like years and years and years ago. It's like when I first dropped out of school, right? It's way back in like the mid 90s, like late 90s. She says, I don't have to do nothing. I don't have to do nothing. All I have to do is be black and die. That's all I have to do. You know, she was going off. She was going in. But said all that to say, you know, when you say have to do, you know, that's like you're shouldering an unnecessary burden. You're cemented. You're obligated. You have to do it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to do anything you don't want to do. So sometimes you got to tell yourself little white lies to, you know, change your perception, flip the narrative a little bit. Instead of saying you have to do something, change your speech pattern, say, I get to. Like, yay, fun, I get to do it. Like, oh, what you doing tonight? Oh, I get to go spend some time with the wife. I get to go spend some time with our children. I get to. You get me? You know, then it's like you're tricking your brain into something positive. Seeing it as a positive, not a negative. You're setting yourself up for a win-win, not a fail. I get to do it. You know what I mean? It's positive. It's not negative. I get to. Like, even if you're being sarcastic, oh, I get to go organize the shelves. Oh, I get to go clean out the garage. I get to go way across town and run errands. But it's a choice. You get to do it. You know what I'm saying? Not have to. So try swapping out have to for get to, and see how much that changes your world. Like how much that raises your, you know, vibration. Because all words have a vibration too. So sometimes it ain't even what you say, but it's how you say it. So change your speech pattern. Practice not only saying the words, but how you say the words. Whether it's, you know, verbally or mentally. So that's my final thought of the day. Change your speech pattern. That's it, and that's all, y'all. Thanks for listening this morning. I started on Sunday evening. It is now Monday morning, but I'll be back on my regular scheduled time next week, this weekend, which is usually Saturday. But like I said, I had a, you know, unprecedented event happen to me. I had a physical ailment that was bothering me all weekend and left me incapacitated and in pain. And I don't want to broadcast like that because I'll be distracted, I'll be distraught, in a bad mood, and I want to deliver positive content. So unfortunately, I come up on the mend, start feeling a little bit better or well enough to, you know, the pain has subsided in the evening, Sunday evening, so where I'm feeling good enough to broadcast. But, you know, my usual broadcast days are Saturdays for the Narrative Podcast for my full episodes. So join me next weekend for another full episode of the Narrative Podcast. Also, stay tuned wherever you get your podcast from, because I upload randomly during the weekdays. It's usually Tuesdays through Thursdays with a random episode of the Narrator Podcast. So tune in regularly wherever you get your podcast from to avoid, to not miss me when I go live. And the best way to do that is subscribe to my YouTube channel, which is Halsey Allen. Subscribe to my YouTube channel and hit the notification bell. Then also follow me on Twitter, and also Halsey Allen on Twitter. And you'll get alerts from whenever I'm live on the Narrator Podcast. So yeah, join me this weekend for a full episode of the Narrator Podcast. It's pretty much every single Saturday, but like I said, this, something unprecedented happened. First time for everything. Yeah, but I got all kinds of projects I'm working on. Keep on supporting the Narrative Podcast. Download this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast, hosted by me, Halsey Allen. What else? I got a personal poetry blog called Halsey's Poetry Corner at www.mrhalseysblogs.com. And the tagline is Poetry with a Passion, Poetry for All Occasions. Excuse me. And that is a collection of poems that I write off the cuff, And the best way to support me is visit that link at www.mrhalseysblogs.com. It's on blogger.com, and share it to, any platform you occupy. Any platform you occupy, share a poem from Halsey's Poetry Corner to it. And support my poetry. What else I got going on? Oh yeah, I've written a book of poetry titled The Black Card. It's in the Poetizer bookstore on Poetizer.com. So do yourself a favor, go to Poetizer.com, go inside their bookstore and purchase The Black Card, written by me, Halsey Allen. And it's basically a book of poetry, 30 poems, detailing, chronicling, everything we experience as original people, original men and original women. It's basically the culture, our experience, all the nuances within our culture, everything we experience as black men and black women, original men, original women. So do yourself a tremendous favor. Go out and get that insightful book of poetry. Make a great coffee table read, good traveling book. You can read it on a plane, read it on a train, read it on the beach. Pull over if you're, into biking, and read a passage from the Black Card. Go support. Pick your copy up of the Black Card today from the Poetizer bookstore on Poetizer.com. Written by me, Halsey Allen, The Black Card. That's all I think I plugged everything I got going on. Join me this weekend at my regularly scheduled time for another episode of the Narrator Podcast. That's it, and that's all. Super duper tired, y'all. Super duper in pain, but came through for you. My Narrator family, Halsey Allen, and the Narrator Podcast. Signing off. Join me this weekend. That's it. That's all. I'm out of here like last year. Halsey Allen, Narrator Podcast. Signing off. And it's like that.
I'm a it burn. I'ma make it burn. Yeah, add a little bit of gasoline. I'ma make it burn. 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 I'ma make it burn.
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.